Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this dress, so follow along. Alright, so first you're going to cut out your pattern pieces. I will link the pattern in the description box. So you need your skirt, your front and back pieces, your lining front and back pieces, your two straps, and your two casings for your elastic. So first what you're going to do is you're going to grab one of your straps and you're going to fold it in half. Then you're going to iron that nice and flat. Now you will just open that up and then you'll fold those edges in towards that crease you just made as you ironed. You can do it one at a time or both at the same time, completely up to you. Okay, so once that's folded, you're going to fold it again and iron that down. Make sure that it's nice and flat. Okay, and once that's done, it will look like this. All of your raw edges are going to be folded in and hidden. So now you'll just grab your other piece and you'll do the same exact thing. And now you have two of your straps here. So now what you'll do is you'll just sew along those edges. Alright, once those are done, you're going to grab your front piece and lay it flat. And then you're going to grab your straps and put it in the middle here. Then you will grab some pins or clips and you're going to just place that there. Once those are in place, you'll just sew across these two. Once those are sewn on, you're going to grab your front lining piece. You're going to lay it on top of your front piece here. Just going to line up all of the edges. Then you'll just clip that in place and then you're going to sew across all of this here. Okay, once that's done, you're just going to do a few snips on your corners here just to make them nice and crisp. I'm going to do a little slit here, not too close to the seam, and then snip those corners here. And once you're done with that, you're just going to take that piece and you're going to flip it right side out. Once that's done, you are going to take your back lining piece and you're going to lay it flat. Then you're going to place your straps in the middle of those with your top piece on top of that back lining. You're going to pin that in place. Then you'll just sew across those there. Once you've sewn those, you're going to grab your back main fabric piece. So you'll grab it and you'll place it right sides together with that front or that back lining piece with your strap sandwiched in between. You're going to pin it and then you'll sew down that. Alright, once that's done, you'll clip and turn it inside out just like you did the other piece, and it will look like this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to lay it flat, just like this. You're going to grab your front and lining pieces and separate them, laying them flat just like this. Then you're going to do the same thing with the other piece here. So open those up, lay those flat, and then you're going to match them up with each other. Now you're just going to pin in place. Once that's pinned, you're going to sew down both those sides. Alright, so now that you're done with that, you're going to open that up and adjust. so that the lining is behind the main fabric pieces. Okay, so now all that's left to do to this top piece is top stitch it. So you're going to adjust here, make sure that your lining and your top pieces are laying together. Now you're just going to sew the edges here so that those pieces, the lining and the top piece, don't like separate and they're nice and flat. So you're just doing that just to make sure that you're nice and secure. Okay, once that's done, your top piece is done. Now you're going to grab your casing for your elastic. You're going to grab them and place one on top of the other. And then you'll just pin those sides together. And then you're going to sew across each of these sides, giving you one continuous piece. So now what you're going to start doing is you're going to start folding in one of the sides about 1/4 to 1/2 inch. Start ironing it down so that it makes a crease there. Ideally this will stay flat. Mine doesn't do a good job about doing that, but some fabrics are better at it than others. Alright, so once that's nice and ironed down, it's going to look a little like this, where you have one side here that is folded and the other side here is a raw edge. So grab your skirt piece here. One important thing about the skirt piece is you want your pattern to be facing the correct way. So as you can see here, my faces need to be facing up so that this will be the front of my dress. So I'll make sure that I add this piece facing that so that all my faces are going up incorrectly. Okay, so lay your skirt flat, and then you're going to start to quarter off that circle. So just put pins or clips on 4 corners of that circle. Okay, so now you're going to take your top here and you're going to quarter that off too. I use my seams here to use as a marking for 2 of my quarters. So since this right here is the middle of my shirt, then I want to make sure that I'm pinning that right there in the middle. And then same thing with the back. That's the middle, so I pin the middle. Okay, so like I said, you want to make sure that your front piece here is lining up with the front of your skirt here, making sure all those faces are facing the correct way. So I'm going to add the front of my top piece to the front of my skirt, then the back of my top piece to the back of my skirt, and then my sides to my sides. So find the side seam for my top, which is here, and then add that to the side of my skirt. Same thing with the other side. Find my seam, add that to my marking here. Okay, then you can add some more clips or pins to keep that in place a little better. Okay, once that's done, it will look a little like this. You'll have it marked or pinned all the way around. Here's my top in the middle. Okay, now you're going to grab your casing for your elastic and you are going to add it to your skirt here. So remember, that's my raw edge. This is my folded edge down here. So my raw edge is going to line up with my raw edge of my skirt. So what we're going to do is we're going to quarter off my elastic casing here first, using those side seams as two of my quarters. So once that's quartered off, I'm going to add it to my skirt. So starting with my side seam here, I'm going to add it to my side seam of my top. It's going to go just like this. Clip those together. And remember that your raw edges should be matching. So side seam here, side seam here. Make sure that your elastic isn't twisted up because that will definitely make a difference. So make sure that it is not twisted and it will lay flat. So add my side seam to my side seam. Alright, so now we're going to find the front and back of the top so we can add it to there. So this is the middle of that front piece. So I'm going to add it to the marking that I made on my casing. Now this is the marking that I made for my other side of the casing, and this is the middle of the back. You can see here. So I'm going to clip those together. Alright, so it should be looking a little like this. And I added just a little bit more clips to keep that secure. So it's going to look like this. Now you're going to sew all the way around, making sure that you're grabbing all of those layers so that it's all sewn together. So go sew on this part. Make sure you're grabbing all of those layers. As you can see here, I'm kind of stopping a lot and adjusting, making sure that all of those layers are. Alright, once that is done, it's going to look like this. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to start folding up that elastic casing with that fold, making sure that fold is folded in, and then you're going to fold it up towards your top piece. And I use pins for this part because it's easier than those clips. So pin that in place. So again, making sure that that piece is folded in so that you don't see any of those raw edges, and pin in place. So you're going to do that all the way around. Once you're done, it's going to look like this. So that piece is flipped up, your fold is folded in so you don't see any of those raw edges. Now you're going to start sewing down that edge. Once you're done, you're going to leave a little hole there so that you can use that for the elastic that we're going to put in the dress. So start sewing. Alright, so once you are done with that, it will look a little like this. All of it is sewn down just with that little piece there that is open. Alright, so now that you have that, it's going to look like this. You have your little opening here. Grab your elastic and your safety pin. You're going to poke a hole through your elastic with that safety pin. Close it up. Okay, now you're going to start feeding it through your elastic casing. I like to put something at the end of my elastic so it doesn't go through and I lose it. Alright, so now that you have it all the way through, you're going to get rid of your safety pin and your clip. Okay, now you're going to match those up and sew down there. Okay, once that's sewn, nice and sturdy, you're going to start kind of pulling at the dress so that you can even out that elastic throughout the whole dress. Alright, so you're going to find that hole that you left open. You're going to kind of stretch this out and sew that hole closed. So once that's done, it will look like this. Now you just turn this right side out. Okay, so the last part is to hem your dress. So for me, what I like to do is I like to use my cover stitch, so I just fold the ends here up and then sew with my cover stitch all the way around. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you next time.